Hi, we're at the Horne Engineering stand and I'm here with the marketing manager, Hannah. Hannah, could you tell me a little bit about Horne, the company?
Yes, Horne Engineering started over 100 years ago in 1909, and we first started by developing thermostatic steam control valves, and those were used to control the temperature of the hot water calorifier or the hot water boiler that would serve the hot water service around a large building such as a hospital or an institution of that time. That was fine, that was circulating water at 60 degrees centigrade around the building, which was fine for places like the kitchen and the laundry, but in places where patients would be showering and bathing, the temperature was far too hot, and so they were suffering from scalding accidents.
Yeah.
So the market actually approached us in the early 1920s, and they said, we've got great control of the boiler, circulating our water at 60 degrees C, because prior to our valve, they hadn't had anything at all. And then they said, but the water in the showering areas is too hot. Can you develop us something that will combat that problem? So we developed a thermostatic mixing valve that we called in those times a blending valve. And so it would mix hot water with cold water to a preset temperature that was safe for showering, 41 degrees C. Nobody would get scalded, nice, comfortable shower. And here is an example of a mixing valve that we currently make today. Cold water comes in here, hot water in here, mixes in the chamber here to give mixed water at the outlet.
Is that the same one that's used today then, Hannah?
No, this is quite a development from the very first thermostatic blending valve that we made. They were quite large because they would actually circulate the water at around 43 degrees around the entire building. And up until the late 1970s, that was fine until Legionella was identified. Now, Legionella leads to Legionnaire's disease. It's a form of pneumonia that, when it's inhaled, it gives infection into the lungs. And so, as a result, we developed point-of-use thermostatic mixing valves. So we would have a smaller mixing valve feeding water to the basin or the bath or a group of showers, for example. At the point of use. So water would be circulating around at 60 degrees C, which is of a high enough temperature to actually thermally disinfect the water supply to kill all the Legionella off. And then just at the point of use, it will mix it down with cold to a more comfortable temperature. And so that is what this is here.
And where in the system would you find the valve, Hannah?
You would find it at the point where the hot water and the cold water supply meet, just upstream of the outlet. So this might be behind a wall panel or underneath the basin.
So do the valves need any maintenance?
Yes, they do. With any mechanical device, with moving parts inside it, it needs to be maintained on a regular basis. And we have deliberately designed this into the product as well. For example, the mixing valve is a central part of the valve, but we've added on some extra components. For example, we've got isolation valves on the hot and the cold supplies, which means that we can isolate the whole valve from the two water supplies. And then maintenance can be done on the valve in situ. Plus also, we are able to do some maintenance on the water supply system as well, because the water supply needs to be flushed through shortly after installation and at commissioning to clear any debris that may have built up in the pipework. But also the pipework should be flushed through on a regular basis to remove any biofilm that may have built up within the pipework. And we have a flushing kit adapter that goes into the base of here and can drain through to drain. Water flushes through at full bore to drain after turning the isolation valve back on.
So that's easy to do?
That's very easy to do, yes. And we've built that into the other products within our range as well. For example, this mixing valve, or a variation of this mixing valve, is incorporated into our range of surface-mounted shower panels, which are just over here. If you'd like, I'll take you over to see them.
Yeah, let's go have a look.